Another day in the NBA, and the madness is growing by the day at this point. Tons of Q tags, tons of things up in the air, tons of guys not playing. We're still going to do what we always do here on this channel, which is strap in, compare my projections to some industry leaders out there, like Stokastic and like our friends at Unabated. We're also going to see what the best are. Oh my God, the best bets are. Holy crap. You would think that I didn't do a stream today with how hard it is to talk. The best bets are in Unabated as well. We're going to hop to Stokastic, see the best sim DFS lineups. By in this video, you'll get all my must plays along with these splash plays for today's slate. Let's get into it. Let's start with the Q tag tweet. Also, might take a quick look at the NBA standings. I think it might be informative for you guys out there about what teams are playing for right now. And basically in the Western Conference, they're all playing right now to avoid the play-in, including the Lakers. The Mavs trying to clinch their play-in spot, even though it's mostly clinched at this point. Eastern Conference is all locked in, so the games really don't even matter, even a little bit for the most part. Let's talk about the Q tags, though. We got Jaylen Brown, Scotty Barnes, Josh Giddey, Alperen Sengun, Denny Avdia, Anthony Simons, Jakob Poeltl, Keegan Murray, Quentin Grimes, who does project very well for me today, assuming that he does play, Kevin Huerter, Jabari Smith, Isaiah Collier, Justin Edwards. Probable tags for Anthony Davis, Nikola Vucevic, Jackson Hayes. The puppy is biting the pillow behind me right now. Which is not a euphemism. Doubtful tags for Jamal Murray and Fred VanVleet for people playing the late slate today or on FanDuel. That's what we got going on. And shout out this lovely chat here from our guy Yen, YSN, excuse me, my new favorite show. I appreciate it a bunch and appreciate all you guys watching live. Hit the like button if you can, show some love. And let's get into the data here. Or actually, let's see the standings real fast. Pull it up in this tab over here. So basically, again, Eastern Conference, you can see the colors over here. Everybody clinched for the most part. Obviously, some guys can move around a little bit. Let's say the Bulls, Heat win. They could pass up the Hawks, get home court advantage for a game. For the most part, though, things are locked in. So teams not really trying that hard. The Cavaliers locked into the 1 seed. Celtics safely in the 2 seed. Just really not a lot of things at stake at this point. Most of the teams in the Eastern Conference. Western Conference, though, is kind of batshit. So Lakers 3rd seed right now. If they lose a game, they are immediately in a pack with all these teams, including the ones in the play-in. So for the Lakers today, obviously some extra motivation with Luka Dončić going to Dallas. His return there, the first time he was playing there, even though he did play the Mavs earlier in the year in LA, initially after the trade. As it is right now, the Mavs, I think, are actually locked into the play-in. I think the Suns were officially eliminated yesterday, but the Mavs not officially locked into the play-in. Basically, I think they can't, well, no, they can't move up. I feel like this should also be color-coded to say these guys have all clinched. These guys have all clinched playoff spots, but the play-ins itself, the teams that are going to be in there very much up in the air. So Lakers, Clippers, Nuggets, Warriors, Grizzlies, T-Wolves, these teams are all right now trying to make sure that they're getting into the actual seeds, the top 6, as opposed to those play-in seeds. So I guess keep that in mind today if it adds some value. Let's go to the projections, though. And, of course, we are presented here by Unabated, so make sure to check them out. Still plenty of time for you to make money off their quality conditional NBA projections. Of course, down the home stretch here, they'll be going through the playoffs as well. And lots of great content Unabated, including all the stuff that will make you money with betting. You'd be up $60,000 if all you did was place every bet that they give you 5% or higher ROI 30 minutes before tip-off. It could be that simple if you go to Unabated right now. So check it out, 20% off. Link down below. Rockets going to make noise in the playoffs, mark my words. I mean, look, they're a feisty team. We'll see. Honestly, the Western Conference is going to be really tough. Eastern Conference feels like it should be coming down to Cleveland and Boston, I would say, for the most part. I think the Knicks maybe not totally dead in the water in terms of how I view them, but Western Conference, anybody could win that conference. It would not shock me. Obviously, I have my leans, though. Curious to see how Denver starts to look as well with the coaching change, but this time of year, I think at this point, it feels like kind of a first-round exit thing to do if you are firing your coach a week before the playoffs. Top projected players, though, today. So the guy who matters the most on all the slate of games is not available on DraftKings. 69 fantasy points for Nikola Jokic, with Jamal Murray doubtful today, meaning he's not likely to go. At this point, for Nikola Jokic, he'd be a great play if he were on DraftKings. If he's on the late slate at 13,000, I'd still play him. On FanDuel, I'd still play him. But he's not on our main slate, so we really don't care about him that much today. Luka Dončić. So here's the issue with Luka Dončić. He's priced at $13,000 almost. He's obviously had some decent fantasy days. He's also not really shown a big leap in usage. So I've talked about enough on here. Since coming to the Lakers, he and LeBron, very similar usage rates, very similar assist rates. The guys are both taking the ball as much as the other guy. For Luka, the last time as well that he played Dallas, he only put up a 25% usage rate in that game, so there's not really something to point to and go, all right, well, he plays so much harder against them, at least this one time. Maybe he'll get up a lot of shots. I would think he's going to get up a lot of shots today. I would think as well, it seems like a contentious spot. There was a report that came out today. The Mavs are trying to book some of Luka's personal sponsors to be on the home court again because they previously worked with the Mavs. And they wanted to have it be part of this celebration of Luka thing they're now trying to do after burying to the media and all that after the trade. And his team, I guess, basically, through those middlemen were like, yeah, we don't want these sponsors working with the Mavs. They're not, that's not my team anymore. My Lakers are my team. If they want to work with my team, go to the Lakers arena. So not like a cool spot at all. Clearly some tension still there. I don't know how you do it with data though. Like, I don't know what you do for Luka here. Do you give him a big boost in usage rate that just hasn't really been there? Do you give him more possessions? I think you should. I think I'm going to force myself to get some Luka here. But as it is right now, the field's only projected for 1% Luka. I got him at 0. So it doesn't feel like that's how the slate's actually going to play out. It doesn't feel like the field will only play very little Luka. But at this point, too, the field's pretty small. It's mostly only sharp players playing, I'm sure, on a night like this where you have, Mavs, Lakers, Luka returning to Dallas, maybe you get a few more casual players than you would otherwise. But I think in general, you're probably getting mostly sharp players who will see Luka as a guy that really hasn't been worth the price tag that he's at. So I don't want to be without him, but I do think on the slate, even though I have my surprised face here, my shocked, I can't believe it face Luka Dončić. I don't think he's actually a good play. So I guess that's really the shock, really. I don't think he should be played a ton, but if you want to get like 20%, just you're covered. If he does put up a really spiteful game that he certainly can, this guy's going to have the ball in his hands a lot. You can do that, but the data doesn't really support it. Luka for Luka tonight, like my son Luka for the other Luka. I'm not sure how that goes. My number 3 projected guy was actually the exact same projection from Luka Dončić. And I'm aware of how this looks again, that we have been right on Quentin Grimes more often than not this year, including last time out when he put up over 50 fantasy points. Quentin Grimes had 51.1 today. Stokastic has been 39.4. Same thing as it's been the entire year. They're not giving him the rate boost that he's had for the smaller group of Philadelphia 76ers. When you take off the star players, he's putting up about 35% usage, almost a 30% assist rate, just dominating the ball in the way that not many guys in the league are. But Quentin Grimes is a Q tag today. So he went off last game, obviously felt good about that. Today, I think it's been the same thing here. Been wrong. I don't think I've been wrong a lot about Grimes. He hasn't killed me very often. I think that's just incorrect, but more power to you. I don't really care what your opinion, though. Quentin Grimes, though, again, got him right last time out. The usage has been really high for him. Also, the minutes have been high for him. 36 minutes the last 3 games also for him. Since the Sixers basically got eliminated from the play-in, it's been something for Grimes as well, where he has been getting the minutes up. He is a little bit of an injured player right now. I don't know if the back injury is serious, but if it is something for him where he's got any concerns about it at all, I think that maybe you would want to have some decreased exposure for Grimes if you are concerned about the back. Field's not going to play him very much, though. I don't know that I want to play him at 63%, but that's what I'm getting right now because I have him very well projected. And despite what guys who I don't know say in chat, I've been right about Grimes a lot this year because the usage has been very high for him overall on the Sixers. Grimes paid me this week. Thank you for Fishalapoop, a guy who actually has been here regularly paying attention. Domantas Sabonis, not in the slate. Doesn't matter for us, but if you are playing late slate or FanDuel, looking pretty good at 47.8 fantasy points for me. 10K salary, though, on DraftKings. Again, not a lot of pay-up options to have that are actually going to be available today. LeBron, Anthony Davis. So Anthony Davis, the guy actually did give a usage bump up to today. Basically, for Anthony Davis, last 2 games, last time out versus the Clippers, he had a 50% usage rate, which is insane. You don't see that happen very often. Game before that, he had a 41% usage rate. The issue with Anthony Davis is since he's been on the Mavs, he's still only about 33, 35% usage. A couple games he's been a little bit higher, but he's also had some games where he's put up like only 20% usage, barely getting shots up at all. I do think for AD, similar to Luka, I would be willing to give him a boost. And I did give him a boost here because he's had this really high usage the last 2 games. But I don't know if it holds up, in this spot. It's hard to say that 2 games of sample size. Okay. You were talking about something a month ago. Get out of here, dude. Like, what is this shit? After what I've been dealing with the best ball idiots, I don't need people coming in here and talking about something on March 24th. What are you fucking talking about? We can't be right on things every day. That's really an important part to understand if you're playing DFS, but especially if you're at the end games of NBA DFS right now where people aren't really paying attention. I'm shocked to have somebody that stupid in the chat at this point of the year, but here we are. Yes, Quentin Grimes has sometimes underperformed. He's also overperformed a lot of times I've mentioned this year. I don't specifically recall March 24th, counselor, but fuck off all the same. LeBron James, though, you want to get leverage on Luka if there is going to be some theoretical ownership that goes Luka's way because of the fact there's that revenge game there. LeBron would be a way to do it. As I've talked about enough times, LeBron and Luka, it's very similar to me in a way that Paolo Banchero, that Franz Wagner are, even though it's been much more dominated by Banchero lately. Just two players that have similar underlying rates, similar fantasy per minute rates. If one guy succeeds, the other one probably comes down a little bit. So let's say Luka, under all the pressure here, the stress, doesn't get as many shots. They double team and do all that stuff. Would say that for LeBron, like he would be the immediate beneficiary if anything goes south with Luka. So keep that in mind here right now. For him, I'm getting 2x the field. So 16% LeBron right now. My top 150 in the Stokastic sim. But overall here is the puppy just biting everything. Jesus. All right. Put the dog over here. This dog was wrong about Quentin Grimes. Don't blame me. Anyway, for LeBron, if Luka fails, LeBron's going to do well. I do think getting like 10% Luka, 10% LeBron would be kind of the safe way to get the taste of both sides, but not really make it your entire day. Anthony Davis, Stokastic has 25% ownership projected for him. I got him at 28% in my top 150. I would say that for Anthony Davis, again, he showed some underlying usage that's been really high lately at a rate that not many players in the league put up in a single game, let alone over the course of an extended sample size. 2 games over 40% usage does catch my eye. That said, for Anthony Davis at this point, I don't think he's like a fantastic play. Only have him as a 4.8x value. That's what's really goosing the usage up to about 37.5% from the 33% he's had all year long. So you want to take the shot here? I think you can. Revenge spot for him as well. But I'm not sure that the minutes are going to get huge for him at this point, too, with them having clinched the play-in spot. I think Anthony Davis is a good play, but 25% feels like more than enough to me. Grimes, the GPP play is a good call. He's gone off enough to make it legit. In the end, it's all how do you do it decision. God, can the dog stop fucking? What are we doing here? You've been so good every day, and now you're wrestling me on the day the chat's harassing me as well. At this point, though, for Anthony Davis and for the dog, Anthony Davis didn't play today. 25% feels like enough. Let's keep it moving. Spags, don't become a Josh. I don't care dismissive comments or so. I really have to be clear. I also don't care. It's not being a Josh. It's just if you're going to be annoying in the chat, I just don't want you here. It's really how it is. You're allowed to disagree and whatever, but sorry, this is my chat. It's all it ever will be, Jay. So see ya. Good luck to you though. Josh, people get like so mad at Josh. If you do anything that's like Josh, it's the same thing. But like, frankly, a lot of people that do content feel the same way. Just some of us are more vocal about it. So it is what it is. More power to you. There's a lot of channels out there. We got Jaylen Brown projecting pretty well for me here. Stokastic didn't have a projection on him. Basically, the start the morning, Stokastic had none of the Celtics on the back-to-back playing. It looks like now everybody's been rolled out besides Jaylen Brown. So no Porzingis, no Tatum, no Drew Holiday, no Al Horford. So Jaylen Brown, Q tag on him. If he plays, he looks pretty good. There isn't a lot of sample size for the Celtics overall in court time without all these guys off. For Jaylen Brown, though, with all of them off, he's played about 181 possessions, 37% usage rate, 36% assist rate, 1.5 fantasy points per minute. He's played incredibly well without those guys, but it's not a huge enough sample that you feel like concrete about that in any way. For Jaylen Brown, I think that he's an okay play here. Maybe not as much of a world beater play as he's been in other times where you've had Tatum and the guys out. There's so few times you get Tatum and Porzingis and Horford and Drew and Derek White. I think I forgot to mention the initial grouping. You don't get all of them off that often. So if Brown plays, I think you take the shot at him. But, it is a little bit tough to trust him when all of his other guys of similar ilk on the team, when they're not playing today. It does feel like Jaylen Brown, hard to expect him playing full capacity. But if he plays full capacity, he could be a slate winning play. Paolo Banchero, Deni Avdija, two guys we've liked a lot in recent slates. Price tag's up a lot for both of them. Avdija, if you're getting Simons back in, I think it's a little tougher to get to Avdija. His rates really do take another step forward, another step upwards as well. When you do get Deni Avdija on a situation where he doesn't have Simons, doesn't have Scoot Henderson, doesn't have Jeremy Grant. But if you get Simons back in, I do think Avdija loses enough that I really don't need him to be a big stand in favor for. I'm getting him at 18%, field to 20, have him a little bit higher projected than Stokastic, but not very much higher. I think he's a good play today. I think he's an okay play. He certainly could still hit a ceiling, but I trust the ceiling a little bit less if there's that rotation just being a little more full with one more high usage guy. And Banchero, I think, looks okay as well. Same thing, though, I would say if I'm getting him at 33%, like the field is getting in Stokastic's data, I think trying to get a little bit more Franz Wagner would be a logical thing to do, but that's it. I don't mind Josh. If you do your homework, he's fine. Even if you disagree, I don't want to make this a Josh thing. I think the main thing to me is like, I'm pretty candid about when I get stuff wrong, when I get stuff right. To be weird about something on March 24th is like, I was actually talking about this with Greg a little bit after we did our MLB stream today. That's a level of obsession that I'm personally not comfortable with. Being weird about stuff like that is just, you're probably not the kind of people I want in the community, is really what it comes down to. But enough of you guys are here regularly. Like, I think we're pretty abundantly clear about when things go right for me, when they go wrong for me on a slate. Quentin Grimes has still been a really valuable asset for me in fantasy this year. So it's going to continue to be the case that I'm not going to like not play him just because guy in chat's mad about something 3 weeks ago. Fucking Jesus Christ. Moussa Diabate. So Moussa Diabate, late day downgrade due to an illness. If he doesn't play, I'm not really sure what they do at center. They dusted off Taj Gibson last game, played him some alongside Diabate. I think basically he didn't play with Mark Williams, so did play with Diabate a little bit. If Diabate's out, they lose the 5 spot. They also lose some minutes at the 4. And at this point, with Bridges also out, you're getting kind of a shortened rotation. Marcus Garrett no longer on the team. He had a 10-day contract. That expired. I'm not really sure where the minutes go. I could go to more Tajan Salon. We haven't seen Yusuf Nurkic play 24 plus minutes lately. He also hasn't played some games, including yesterday for the Hornets. So a little bit hard to expect what you're getting from him as well. But if you get Diabate out, I think you have to take a shot at Nurkic. And I think you have to do that to some capacity. But I don't know if Nurkic's minutes still go up enough. If Diabate is in, I would think he's a good play. I was getting him in 61% of my top 150 lines before the show. But of course, if he does get ruled out, that's basically it. Nurkic gets 28 minutes. He breaks the slate. That's probably true. I mean, he's been really productive as a Hornet. I think he's been averaging in court time without the various Hornets not available. 1.4 fantasy points a minute rounding up. 1.38 if you want to be accurate to the decimal point on 31% usage and 18% rebound rate, a 28% assist rate. If you get Diabate out, I think you just got to take the shot because he is so incredibly well projected overall in terms of the per minute stuff. But it really securing more minutes for Nurkic is the main thing here. Because like if it comes down to playing him or Taj Gibson, they'll play Nurkic a few more minutes, I think, because Taj is even dustier. All right. You don't judge a stock market day by day. You judge it long term. Same goes with projections. That's also true. The thing is, like, the guy's not even paying for anything. It's like he sees my data, doesn't see the updates. So, like, I don't know what the fuck to do for you. But I mean, nevertheless, as I said before, fuck that guy. I'm pretty clear about my fuck that guy stance for when that situation does come up. So with Bridges out, he was not out in the projection set for Stokastic this morning. Had to move some minutes around on my own. We'll see if we get an update here for the show, hopefully, so you can see how Stokastic feels about the Hornets. I think Nick Smith has to get more minutes today. They have Damian Bow as well in, but I have him playing backup point guard today, taking the minutes that KJ Simpson doesn't play. He certainly gets some minutes on the wing as well, which would knock Nick Smith down a little bit. But Nick Smith has put up some usage before in shorter, spanned Hornets groups. You still have Josh Green out. You're missing a good amount of bodies at this point for the Hornets. So Nick Smith, I would say really watch out if you have projections that you're using mine or somebody else's out there. Check when we get closer to lock because the minutes can move around a little bit here compared to what I'm guessing at right now. Especially if he doesn't start, I think he would not be as interesting of a play. But if he does start, I think Nick Smith would be a good play at 3,800. I have him for 28 fantasy points, getting 29 minutes. Colin Gillespie, not in your DK slate, is on your FanDuel slate / your DK late slate. So he looks okay if you're playing there. Frankly, be one of the best values in the slate if you were playing today on DraftKings main slate. But that said, you're expecting Bradley Beal out, Durant still out. Suns officially eliminated yesterday. Devin Booker depressed in interviews on social media where the guys just asking him about why they're losing. So it's not a good vibe right now for Phoenix, but that situation probably opens up more minutes for Gillespie here in games that won't matter as much for Phoenix down the home stretch. Wendell Moore, another cheap Hornet here who should be getting more minutes. I think Stokastic had him for like 17.9. I gave him a few more because of not having Miles Bridges in. He's not been very good on the year. I have him under a fantasy point per minute today. But again, the Hornets missing so many bodies. Wendell Moore might be in play. And if he gets to start, I'd probably take the shot. Alex Sarr. So you get Tristan Vukcevic back in the mix today, but you are missing a lot more Wizards as well. No Jordan Poole today is going to open a lot more opportunity as well for Sarr. Crazy high ownership going Sarr's way. 51% for him. I got him at 63% though. I think Sarr looks like a strong play. I'd say the main issue is one that we talk about a lot here with some of the early games, 7 o'clock start time for Washington. So if you got that spot for Sarr early on, if something opens up later, frankly, I'm not sure that anything would open up later because at this point, most of our Q tag guys should be solved. I would hope at that point. But but it does ruin some flexibility. So, and I think too, getting Vucevic back in, you are risking a few more minutes on the downside for Alex Sarr. So I'm okay being with the Fields number. It feels a little bit overexposed getting him higher, but I do have him 1.5 fantasy points higher than Stokastic does right now. Yusuf Nurkic, again, with Diabate in, getting him at 23%, Fields at 8. I still think he is a good play. I think the question really is what we just talked about with the minutes. Can they get high enough for him to hit a true ceiling? I'm not sure about that. But Nurkic is a value at 5,300. Some of the prices come out a little bit, but he can give you 40 fantasy points in 25 minutes. So I think for Nurkic, he's still in play here, but a lot more in play if Diabate is out. Derek Jones on your FanDuel slate / DraftKings late slate, okay value. Sam Hauser getting a little bit of a bump up here from no Celtics available. He would look really playable to me if you get Jaylen Brown out. With Brown in, he looks like an okay play. Peyton Pritchard looks like a good play, but really expensive at 6,700. 6x value for me. He wasn't really much in the Stokastic sim, so I didn't get him much in my lineups. But I think he feels to me like a 25 to 33% play if Brown is in. If Brown is out, a lot more than that. Johnny Juzang, 31% for me, 20% for the field. Not really a great play here value-wise. The Utah game is late, though. It's a 9 o'clock game, the last one of the DraftKings main slate. So keeping Johnny Juzang in a lineup feels okay right now. But Juzang, to me, not really a player that I'm excited to get to. And Quentin Grimes, as we talked about here, even though I got him wrong on March 24th, the day we'll never forget, 63% for me right now. He does look like a top value despite being 8,900. According to my projections, of course, which you're not legally required to follow. It may shock you to hear. But let's go game by game here, guys. We'll try to make some quick time in this because I feel like we've talked a lot about a lot of the key situations. But again, show some love if you can. Look, the fatigue for me, to be totally candid about, is setting in this week in particular. Some of the nonsense I've had to deal with. In particular, if you're going to pop in a chat and pop off about dumb shit, I just don't care. I don't care normally, but I like extra don't care this week. But I do care enough about showing up here and doing the work and showing you guys my data here, talking through it as best we can. And of course, I encourage you to just take this as a thought starter. Nobody's telling you to follow everything I'm trying to play. If you think I'm an idiot about Quentin Grimes, like we talked about the other day, play some Lonnie Walker, play some Adem Bona, play whatever, play fucking Jeff Edwards if he's going to be in the lineup. Like, play whatever you want, Justin Edwards. Play whatever you want in the lineup. But, like, ultimately, I'm just going to give you my takes here. And if you're going to be weird about it, then you just watch and not participate. And that's pretty cool, too. But show some love if you can. Forgot the other day, thanks to March 24th. That's true. No, we'll never forget. It's been a day that'll live in infamy forever. We got Boston, 99.8 implied points. Totals fallen precipitously since some of these Celtics have gotten ruled out today. If Jaylen Brown is in, still think I would take that shot in a competitive spot versus Orlando. You have to keep in mind, though, with the Celtics now being down 5 legit rotational guys, Orlando, which is a good defense, is going to absolutely key in on Jaylen Brown, make it as hard as they can for him. And Jaylen Brown sometimes wilts under that kind of situation. Sometimes he thrives, though, so I'm cool taking shots at him. Didn't get him the sim because he wasn't coming up much in Stokastic's data, but he feels like, to me, if you get Tatum out, I mean, if you get all the guys you have out and Brown plays, rather, we already know they're out. I think Brown, to me, probably not like a 50% play, probably like a 33-ish play. I think Peyton Pritchard, 20 to 25. I think that feels about right. Luke Cornett not gaining enough here from Horford being out. You still have Kata taking some minutes at center. Sam Hauser should be one of the bigger usage winners. He's put up decent rates overall when the Boston group gets smaller. He's put up 18% usage, 10% rebound rate, 8% assist rate, good for 0.98 fantasy points a minute. Shooting an unsustainable 70% true shooting, but shooting pretty well. I think that for Sam Hauser, he's an okay play. He's one that really don't feel like he's a must-have if Jaylen Brown is in. If Jaylen Brown is out, he's going to look a lot more like a must-have play because he's going to soak up a lot of the points that get left behind because he's a decent usage guy who normally shoots pretty well with 63% true shooting on the year. I think he's an okay play. He's going to be really chalky, though, I think, when the data updates for Stokastic. So we'll see what we get. Hopefully get an update on that in the back half of the show. Magic minus favored by 7.5. Think JB could sit. Yeah, I mean, I think that total could be Jaylen Brown playing because, like, what would it, like, are you thinking it would be like 3.5? I don't think Jaylen Brown alone keeps it that close. It's hard to say. You lose like 5 guys out of your rotation, even if you keep Jaylen Brown. I think 7.5 would still be okay, especially on the assumption that Brown could get maybe pulled early or something if he's not feeling full go. I wouldn't read into the line. I think it's odd, though, that Jaylen Brown would be questionable. All the other guys get ruled out. But we'll see what happens. Well, I think we'll know no matter what when the slate starts. You'll be fine. We'll get there when we get there. I'm not sure offhand. I think it's whatever Stokastic's minutes were for it to have like 30. I think maybe 31. Nothing else on Boston though right now because everything needs to update. But I do think Jaylen Brown, Peyton Pritchard, Sam Hauser will be your ownership winners. Kata probably come up a little bit, but I still don't think he's a great play. Orlando, a lot of Paolo Banchero here. He's been very good lately. I do think in recent games, he started distancing himself more from Franz Wagner. Overall, though, rate-wise, still does support these guys being very similar players. Projection difference is about 3.5 fantasy points for me. I would still like to get similar amounts of these guys, and that's what I'm getting right now. 26% Paolo, 20% Franz. Feels good going against the Boston team that at this point is not the regular Boston team you're getting anyway. Yet their projections are taking slight decreases because of the Boston matchup, but the Boston matchup is not going to be what it normally is. We got Philadelphia here. So again, we've talked enough about Quentin Grimes already. I think he looks good again. Again, put up 50 fantasy points last time, playing over 36 minutes in his last 3 games. I think he's a strong play. If you don't want to play him, Jared Butler, Lonnie Walker, Adem Bona going to be your obvious 3 guys again. If these guys hit, if Justin Edwards hits, they pull away from Quentin Grimes. One thing I disagree with in the minutes that Stokastic had for these guys, they have Jeff Doughton getting 8 minutes. I don't think Doughton plays. I believe he has 2 more games left of eligibility. I think he would play if Grimes is out. I don't think he plays if Grimes is in. And then if Grimes is in, I think Grimes probably sits their last 2 games and Doughton plays those. But I don't think Doughton would just like play a few minutes. I think he would either be in there for like 25 minutes or so, or he'd be in there for no minutes. And that's my take on Jeff Doughton right now. And I think that also kind of affects the overall projection picture a little bit. But getting Quentin Grimes a lot here, getting less of Jared Butler, who, as we've talked about enough times, he really hasn't even hit in a way where it's made me feel bad about it. He's just not the same player right now for Philadelphia. Hasn't had an outlier game in a while. He's priced still like he's old Jared Butler, but the rates have suffered for him in this short shrift kind of Sixers group that they have left. Lonnie Walker playing a lot of minutes lately. Pretty chalky at 63%. Gave him a usage bump that he gets with all the various Sixers not available, but not enough for me to go as crazy on his ownership as Stokastic has with 63%. I got 43. Adem Bona, I was high on him the other day, not so much today. 5,700, a little bit of expensive price tag for him. 31% of projected ownership. I got him at 10. Again, if you're going to have this much Grimes, you should have less of the other guys. If you're going to have more of the other guys, you should have less Grimes. That's sort of the natural flow of DFS for people that might not understand that. And I say that in a kind way, but I also say it in a mean way for people who are idiots that we may have seen already. Washington, 111 implied points here. Alex Sarr, big stand on him. 63% for me, 51% for the field. Bub Carrington, Fields expected to play 56%. They have loved playing him lately. I got him at 51. He looks pretty good to me, though not as good as Stokastic. About 2.5 fantasy points lower in my projection. Justin Champagnie, 31% for me. Fields at 23. Colby Jones, 24% for me. Fields at 23. A little bit lower on Vucevic, a little bit lower on AJ Johnson. I think trying to get more Vucevic in the lineups without Alex Sarr would be logical. Vucevic, he's not full health because he did miss yesterday, but did miss the front half of back-to-back. Should be able to play a few more minutes today, you would hope. But I don't know. Washington's a team where it feels like you want to get a good amount because you are missing some really high usage guys that are normally in the lineup, like Jordan Poole. But at this point, it's not a great total, not a bad one either. Philadelphia's defense kind of sucks. So really, you could take whatever you want here. Keyshawn George being the one player who just does not project well enough, not playing enough minutes right now since he's coming off his injury. Charlotte, 104.3 implied points. No Miles Bridges, no Mark Williams here. Diabate, as we talked about, downgraded to a Q tag later in the day with an illness. So I would say probably trending closer to not playing than playing. We'll see how it goes, though. We'll know this one before lock as well. Another 7 o'clock game with this one. Actually, no, 7:30, my bad. So the first 2 were 7 o'clock. The next 2 were 7:30. So hopefully we'll know pretty close to lock if we get Diabate. I think there's a decent chance. It's going to be one of those where you get the news like 7:05 or something. You're going to want to swap pretty fast to get ready for the next slate of games. But Diabate, if he's in, looks good. Got him at 61% of my lineups. If he's out, I'll get more Nurkic. I'll get more Tajon Salon, maybe some Daquan Jeffries. Diabate being out opens up a lot of minutes overall. Opens up back up 5 minutes, opens up some minutes at the 4. And we already have Taj Gibson already projected for 15 minutes. So, yeah, weird rotations overall for Charlotte here, potentially, if you get Diabate out, because I don't know what they're going to do with the 4. I think you play Jeffries more. I think you play Salon more. I think you play Nick Smith more. I think Bow is still your backup point guard. But you have Jalen Sims there now, so you really could do Bow playing on the wing. They could do some different stuff today, so knowing the starters here are going to be really important. Toronto, nobody looks good here. They're full health. I don't know. They've now played themselves entirely out of the play-in, so maybe they'll give these guys one last swan song game here. Actually, what's Toronto's schedule? I know we're running a little bit behind here. Toronto Raptors, because this is their last home game. I feel like, yeah, this is their last home game of the year. They might go full go here because you have everybody starting it would be weird to play them like 30 plus minutes, but they might play 30 flat because like that happens sometimes in the team's last home game. Like, thank you, fans. We tried hard for you here, even after we deliberately tried to lose for about a month straight. So I'd watch out for that theoretically here. It's a full rotation though, no matter what. So I don't think your Mobo is those kind of guys are looking that good. I don't love the spot. But it wouldn't shock me. You have to pay the full price for these guys. It wouldn't shock me if Toronto played harder than usual here or a little bit deeper than usual because they're not at risk of knock themselves into the play-in game. They're good to go. Have good fans will be rewarded possibly. This one could be weird though. If you get Toronto guys in a lineup somehow, I wouldn't take them out. SGA out, Hartenstein out. Well, there you go. That again matters for it's only the FanDuel slate. So I personally, I don't care very much, but it's certainly going to open things up for Phoenix. Booker getting ruled out would be the real way, Phoenix is fully given up. But for you OKC people out there, for you FanDuel players out there, you're definitely going to want to get whoever's left. Jalen Williams at this point, Hartenstein being out, you want to get more Holmgren. If Holmgren goes out, Jalen Williams if he's in. But OKC now, you lose SGA. That's a lot of possessions that are gone. You lose Hartenstein as well. A lot of minutes of the 5 that are gone. All right, Lakers here. We talked about the Luka thing enough, so hopefully I could skip through that here because we're behind schedule. LeBron getting 2x the field. Again, I would like to get like maybe 10 to 15% of both guys here. Austin Reeves would be your pivot point where if Luka fails, LeBron fails, nobody play Austin Reeves. And you can certainly get going on a Dallas team against a Dallas team that's not very good. And if the other two guys are deferring to him for whatever reason because they're getting defended well, something like that. Mike Reeves is generally a game theory play whenever Luka and LeBron are highly owned. But they're not here. I still think the field will get to a little bit more Luka than 1% no matter what. But Luka and LeBron here, clearly you expect Luka to take more usage. The rates don't really support it. But I think you got to play a little bit of Luka today just because the spot's the spot going into Dallas in a spiteful situation. Anthony Davis, again, have him at 30.1 minutes as we talked about before. For our guy shot like Harden, who was asking, 25% ownership for Stokastic. I got him in 28% because I have him about 0.4 fantasy points higher. I gave the boost up for usage for Anthony Davis. The fact he's put up over 40% usage in the last 2 games, including 50% last time out for the Clippers. That feels deliberate to me. But for Anthony Davis here, don't think he's a huge stand player. Think a quarter of your lineups having him. That's more than enough. But he has been good enough these last 2 games. Even the Clippers game, he didn't play well fantasy-wise. But if you're going to get up half your team's possessions, usage is just shots and turnovers. Anthony Davis, that matters, I think. So I think it's an interesting play. And in some respects, I think a more interesting play than Luka and LeBron. Miami here, Tyler Hero, Bam Adebayo, both getting owned a little bit by the field. I got 15% Bam, very little Hero, only 7%, Fields at 11. Andrew Wiggins with the field on 8%. Fields got 9, I guess I've got 8 flat. Duncan Robinson got a little bit here, 13%, Fields at 8. These guys are really not too great of a play on the slate, but they are playing Chicago here, so there's a ceiling for sure. Price tags are really high. Hero at 94, Bam Adebayo at 93. Really aggressive pricing for DK, given again, how few people are playing the NBA DFS slates at this point and how small the tournaments are. It's only 25K to first today in the big tournament on DraftKings, but they're still punishing you with the pricing right now. It's kind of nuts. Josh Giddey's over $10,000 with Kobe White in. I don't see that being a play I want to get to. Giddey's a Q tag, so if he and Herter are out, Kobe White will look better. Vucevic will look better. As it is right now, given the matchup and the rotation or the guys that are going to be available currently, I really don't see a lot for Chicago here in the spot. Portland, Denny Avdia, 20% for the field. I got 18. Shaden Sharp not getting to today. Anthony Simon, 16% for me, 26% for the field. Tamani Kamara, actually pretty decent ownership overall coming in for these guys. It is a more full, more healthy rotation than it's been in a while for Portland. I think at a certain point you want to jump off the train, not literally, not in front of the train, but you do want to get off guys when the rotation is back to a position that's less advantageous. Like Delano Banton with Simons in, assuming that he does play, I would not want to play Banton at all. He's now priced up for life without, Anthony Simons for like a week and change. Avdi as well, take the big jump up because Scoot's been out, because Simons has been out, Grant's been out for a while as well. On top of that, it's like these guys are all not exactly the same play. Getting some feels fine. Getting over the field feels a little bit nuts to me. Clingan as well, 15% for me, 23% for the field. These guys are all coming up decently owned. Utah, 111.8 implied points for them. Last game on the DK slate. Nothing here seems like a great play, but we're getting a ton of ownership. Colin Sexton, 42% for the field. I'm getting him at 24. Not a great projection on him. Keontae George, I have 17% in my top 150. Fields at 15. Johnny Juzang, 31% in my top 150. Fields at 20. I'm okay having these guys and carrying them in because they give us some swappability, but they don't look like great plays here, even though you are down the spot. Kessler, Collins still, Markkanen still, Clarkson out the rest of the year. Utah, a lot of ownership here. Sexton in particular, it's a lot of ownership for a guy who I think has been mostly just okay on the year. Court time without the various Jazz that are available. Sexton is putting up 1.1 fantasy points submitted on 29% usage and a 27% assist rate, which is up a little bit on where he is normally, but it's not a crazy leap up. I just don't think Sexton's some 42% play that you're waiting the whole night for, but clearly the data says that right now. Sexton holding, we'll see. We'll see. And here's your FanDuel projections if you need them. Again, Jokic looks good. Nothing else here looks that great to me with Jamal Murray out. Westbrook as well, I presume. I have no idea how it's going to go. But supposedly one of the disputes between the previous front office and Mike Malone, who got fired, was that like he was playing Westbrook and they didn't want him to. If it'll tell you who has the power now, I guess, if like Pickett sort of starts playing more, Westbrook plays less. A lot of uncertainty for Denver besides Jokic, which I think you'll never have any questions about. Sacramento here, I think we saw that Keegan Murray is going to be out. I think somebody said that in chat, or it might be DeJounte. Which Murray is out? Keegan Murray also ruled out, but obviously we got Jamal Murray out as well. So I was saying DeJounte. Too many Murrays in the brain. But yes, Jamal Murray out, Keegan Murray also out. So Murray opening up Trey Lyles a little bit here for FanDuel. Again, not really a great play as we saw with Lyles being mega chalk on DraftKings the other day, but that'll help a little bit out for that team. And certainly could open up some more opportunity for Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine got up a lot more shots that might have gone Keegan Murray's way. It felt like in that last spot where he put up 50 fantasy points. So maybe bump up LaVine a little bit, but I don't know if the underlying rates really support it. San Antonio, Castle keeps going off. He still doesn't project well enough to me. Golden State here, you have to take out Quentin Post. I didn't do it though. Down Quentin Post doesn't really matter that much. Really big total for Golden State. So if you want to try to target a Steph Curry outlier day to day, I don't think that'd be crazy on FanDuel. OKC, we just talked about here. Our guy Josh dropping in the chat. A bunch of dudes being ruled out lately. For OKC here, SGA being out, Hartenstein being out, makes Jalen Williams and Chet Holmgren look a lot better. Aaron Wiggins also should take a big jump upwards as well, though he benefits more from Jalen Williams being on because he kind of takes over that role. OKC, though, if you just take out, SGA's 35% usage, it's going to make guys look a lot more appealing. Same thing for Hartenstein, makes the big rotation a little bit easier with Holmgren and Jalen Williams. I think those guys, well, Jalen Williams has been banged up, but I would assume he gets in for today. If not, then whatever, there's still big minutes to go around, but I assume it would be Holmgren and Jalen Williams getting the minutes. Phoenix here, Bradley Beal expected out, though I guess he could play theoretically. Assuming that's the case, though, Colin Gillespie looking better. Jalen's in. Okay, good to know. Josh on the ball today. Devin Booker, wouldn't shock me to see him get ruled out late, but I don't know why he wouldn't be on the injury report if they're starting to put guys out already. So Booker maybe getting up one more bullshit game here against an OKC team that's going to be clearly depleted. I think it would be fair for him. But 9,700 on DraftKings, the projection doesn't look that good for me for the late slate. Houston, Şengün, I can always play, but nothing stands out that much. Clippers, Derek Jones, good value on DraftKings, probably good value on FanDuel as well, but I don't know offhand. That's what it looks like for the overall late games here. Let's go to Unabated next, guys. We're going to learn about the conditional NBA projections just a few more times here. Basically, only 3 more Unabated sponsored videos of the year. So enjoy it while it lasts, guys. Get your taste of the steel drums and the graphs coming up. Thanks to our quality betting partner, Unabated. Got your expert NBA projections for a few more days here on the channel. Justin Fan, the crew, doing great work, of course, making people a lot of money, really, if they are sticking with the date every day. But I don't know how they did on March 24th, so that's, maybe I need to couch things accordingly. Of course, we got the conditional projections, real-time NBA news, lots of things that'll make you more aware of what you're doing, whether it is for prop betting, for pick'em sites, or your DFS plays. It's all at your fingertips. And of course, the graphs here, distribution of points simulated out, can be a beautiful thing as well when you see those graphs in Unabated. You can play your own steel drums at home. Discord, great community on there. A lot of profitable bettors. Lots of guys use the same data you'd be using, but sometimes a lot more money on the line.
You know the crowd is ready. Get ready.
And I'm trying to get to that unabated graph It always locks up here right as the video's ending, and I just want to show you guys. There we go. Kill page. No, just show me the graph. There we go. There's that graph. If you place $100 bets 30 minutes before tip-off on every game, all the bets that Unabated recommends, the 5% or higher ROI, you would have yourself up $60,000 at this point of the season. And of course, that's going back to the beginning of the year. It does take a lot of follow-through to stick with it for 6 months of work to see the swings and all of that week to week. But you can see on this data, not really a lot of swings, maybe a few down weeks across it. So the professional data from a company like Unabated will get you. So check it out for yourself. They're going to keep doing stuff throughout the playoffs as well. And it really is something where people have won a lot of money from it. And if you have the wherewithal to have a couple books in your arsenal to get the bets in every night, you will make money with a product like Unabated. So check it out. 20% off, link down below, or use the promo code SPLASH. Now we'll go to that prop screen. Drums that make you come. Love to hear that. Can't believe March. The March 24th guy is going to be in my head for a while. It's been a week of really people getting in my head with either violent threats on Twitter or people just saying that I was wrong about Quentin Grimes on March 24th. Like, it's so specific in a way that like I can't believe people in the world exist like that. It's really how I will continue to feel about it. Some of the other projection sets we have today: Denny Avdia, Scotty Barnes, Isaiah Collier, Josh Giddey, Quentin Grimes, Kevin Huerter. Wow, Kevin Huerter projection set. That's crazy. Jakob Poeltl, Norman Powell, Anthony Simons, Andrew Wiggins, Şengün. Reece Simons, you get him out. Avdia, really an important part of the slate, potentially for your Denny Avdia exposure. Let's pull up our points bets here, simulate them out. Let's see what we get. So I'm going to blunt and listening to Spags time. There you go. Bush took down a government building. Oh my God. Smoking a blunt sounds like a good time. Honestly, more people out there may need to smoke a blunt if that's where we are at the NBA DFS season. I feel like, and this is again, me just, obviously I'm biased to my own take. I feel like I've had a profitable NBA DFS season. B, I've had a season where I feel like I've gotten a lot of things right in content and things that I've been alone on an island about. So like, I feel really content. I'm the most content of everything I'm doing right now with how my NBA both play and my content views on things have been this year. Is Jalen Williams the best small forward tonight? Is he a small forward on FanDuel? I don't think he'd be the best small forward, but he'll be in play for sure with Hartenstein out. But he's not a small forward on DraftKings, so I don't know. Points bets right now, according to Unabated, the best bets you're going to find. Under 14.5 points for PJ Washington. If we expect Anthony Davis to put up 40% usage, somebody's got to suffer. And lately it has been PJ Washington. So under 14.5 points for PJ Washington, plus 100 on DraftKings Sportsbook, gets you 13.4% EV. In fact, it also looks good on PrizePicks and FanDuel, not so much on Underdog. So play it on PrizePicks, play it on DraftKings, play it on FanDuel for PJ Washington under 14.5 points or under 15 on PrizePicks. Caleb Martin under 6 points, 12% EV for you on PrizePicks right now. No good anywhere else. So Caleb Martin only on PrizePicks, 12% EV for under 6 points. Christian Brown over 15.5 points for you, plus 100 odds on DraftKings Sportsbook, 11% EV. Not so good anywhere else. So you only want to take the ones with the 5% or higher ROI. So we will take this DraftKings one for Christian Brown over 15.5 points, but not the others. He does get an uptick as well from no Jamal Murray and also no DeJounte Murray for my Murray lovers out there. No Bill Murray either the music group or the actor. Gabe Vincent over 6 points, 10.3% EV on PrizePicks, not available anywhere else. So Gabe Vincent, take that one on PrizePicks if you can. LeBron under 23.5 points. If Luka gets more usage, LeBron comes down. So I can live with it, I guess. Under 23.5 points for LeBron, minus 104 odds on FanDuel, looking good. You play it on DraftKings. You probably don't want it on your pick'em sites though. Tristan Vukcevic over 13.5 points. Hopefully he's okay coming off the little injuries he's had. 10% EV on your pick'em sites, not good on your sportsbook. So Tristan Vukcevic over 13.5 only on PrizePicks and Underdog. And Klay Thompson under 13.5 points, looking good on Underdog with 9.3% EV. Probably don't want it anywhere else. So Klay Thompson only on Underdog under 13.5 points. Excuse me. All right, rebounds coming up next. Hey, I appreciate you. I appreciate you admitting that somehow you guys suck. No, it's like I fully am aware, and I think it's a thing too that like you're gonna get things wrong in every slate. And again, this is what I was literally talking about with Greg this afternoon, which is why it's so fucking weird to get that trolling now. And I was also talking about too. I'm like, man, the DFS space has been like so much nicer than like the best ball space, at least in my opinion. But like apparently not. So that's my bad for assuming good things ever. Aaron Gordon under 5 rebounds, looking pretty good on PrizePicks, looking also very good on DraftKings and FanDuel. Really high EV here for Aaron Gordon, under 5 rebounds, 24% EV on all the sites besides Underdog. For Aaron Gordon today, under 5 rebounds. Moses Moody under 3.5 rebounds, looking good on Underdog, DraftKings, and FanDuel. Can't play it on PrizePicks, but Moody under 3.5 rebounds on Underdog, DraftKings, and FanDuel. Jaylen Brown under 3.5 rebounds, -154 odds on DraftKings, gets you 10.5% EV. Not so much anywhere else. Peyton Pritchard, good on FanDuel, and under for Peyton Pritchard on FanDuel. Under 4.5 rebounds, -104 odds. Any under on Peyton Pritchard when you have the stars out for Boston makes me uncomfortable, but the data's the data, the sample size is the sample size. So Peyton Pritchard under 4.5 rebounds, 8.2% EV on FanDuel, looking good. Jimmy Butler over 5.5 rebounds, +130 odds on DraftKings. Good on DraftKings, a little bit less good on FanDuel, but still playable. Najee Marshall under 4.5 rebounds, looking good on PrizePicks, 6.1% EV. Good on DraftKings as well, 5.3% EV. You can play it on FanDuel if you want, but you don't have to. Again, you really don't have to play anything for the record, but with the EV under 5%, you can play it if you want. Maybe you don't need to. Jared Vanderbilt over 3.5 rebounds, looking good on Underdog, not so much anywhere else. 6.1% EV for Jared Vanderbilt over 3.5 rebounds on Underdog Pick'ems today. Which I think I could say now, just gambling. It's just gambling. It's not fantasy for the record. None of these things are fan. This is all just sports betting. Such a relief to be able to say that after years. Okay. Got Russell Westbrook under 5.5 assists, looking good on PrizePicks and Underdog, and pretty similarly good on DraftKings. So Westbrook, a triple here, not quite a grand slam, but 3 places you could play it. PrizePicks, Underdog, DraftKings, 11.4% EV for Russell Westbrook under 5.5 assists. Jonathan Kuminga under 2.5 assists, looking good on DraftKings, playable on your pick'em sites as well, but take it on DraftKings if you can. Kuminga under 2.5 assists, 10% EV on DraftKings at -110 odds. Franz Wagner over 4.5 assists, +100 on FanDuel, gets you about 10% EV. Same line on DraftKings as well, but not on the pick'em site. So Franz Wagner over on assists today. Good on your regular sports books. Peyton Pritchard under 5.5 assists, 7.1% EV on PrizePicks, 6.3% EV on DraftKings. Not playable on Underdog or FanDuel. Steph Curry under 6.5 assists, looking good on Underdog, 5.5% EV, but you don't want it anywhere else. Steph Curry only on Underdog under 6.5 assists. And Max Christie, you don't want that one. You don't want that one. Let's close it out with PRAs. And of course, we'll do a little Stokastic sim and hope they've updated their data. Let's see. Looks like they updated. Let me refresh. They updated about 4:30. So we'll get some fresh takes from Stokastic. Close this out here. That feels good. Good way to summarize it up. We'll see what they really disagree with me on again today. And what they agree with me on, more importantly. Let's find that commonality here. All right. Jaylen Brown. What? Oh boy. So, okay. So, Unabated is, I think, giving Jaylen Brown very limited minutes. I did not give him limited minutes. So, if you're going to give him limited minutes, this under 19.5 PRAs looks very light. The line itself looks very light. So, I think the sportsbook assumption here is don't play Jaylen Brown. Anyway, under 19.5 PRAs, 17.1% EV on Underdog, 16.2%, same line on DraftKings. So the sportsbook line and Unabated's projection would make me think Jaylen Brown limited minutes at best. But if he's in, I don't know why you would assume that necessarily, even though it would be the logical thing to do. I don't think there's a guarantee he plays limited minutes. So I would exercise that caution, but Unabated says it. Under 21.5 PRAs for Luke Cornett, 11.3% EV. Looks the best on DraftKings, still very good on PrizePicks, very good on FanDuel, less good on Underdog, but still playable. For Luke Cornett's PRAs under today. Aaron Gordon under 24.5 PRAs gets a 10.5% EV for you on FanDuel. A little bit less good EV, but still very playable on DraftKings, 7.9% EV. For Aaron Gordon under 24.5 PRAs at -120 odds. Underdog also good. PrizePicks less good. For Aaron Gordon's under on PRAs today. Peyton Watson under 11.5 PRAs, 10.3% EV on DraftKings, 9% on your pick'em sites. So Peyton Watson under is good wherever you can get him, which is not going to be FanDuel. LeBron James under 38.5 PRAs, best on FanDuel, not good anywhere else. Take that 9% EV on FanDuel for LeBron under 38.5 PRAs, -113 odds. Jonathan Kuminga under 22.5 PRAs. Good on the pick'em sites, not good on your regular legal sports books. Kuminga under 22.5 PRAs on both PrizePicks and Underdog, looking like a good bet. And Daniel Gafford under 16.5 PRAs on DraftKings, minus 110 odds. Gets you 7.9% EV. Less good on PrizePicks. You probably don't want to play it, and it's not available anywhere else. So Daniel Gafford, only on DraftKings Sportsbook, under 16.5 PRAs. Again, lots of stuff you can unearth for yourself and Unabated. We have 11 different projection sets that the Unabated team has put together that you can refer for yourself if you want to get different advantageous betting / DFS angles for yourself as the night goes on. So check it out. Again, a lot more sports you could add to. And the ones that I'm showing you here, which are just the primary ones, I know pretty much everybody watching already has access to. But you want to get your edge on Bet365, ProfitX, Splash Sports, Fanatics, NoVig, the bullshit ones, the sweepstake ones, your Florida ones, your BetMGMs, your Caesars, whatever you want, they got Unabated. So please do check it out. Great partner this year. And of course, a great product for you if you want to get there in the world of betting. But let's go to Stokastic next, guys, and let's see what we can do building our 5,000 lineups that have them compete 10,000 times. And we'll see what the data has as well, because they haven't updated since 8 o'clock in the morning. So there's going to be a lot of things that are fresh now. And shout out to you guys hanging out. Again, if you got value out of this video, please do hit the like button, subscribe. As I can't be more clear about for the people that want to never forget March 24th. I do show up here and do the work as best I can every day. It doesn't mean being 100% right in everything every single day. In fact, earlier this week, Tyler Hero killed me along with 60% of the industry. So it happens in basketball. But if you show up and do the work every day, using good data, using good process, you'll hopefully get the results you're looking for. So that's what I will say to anybody out there, whether they are jilted and muted in the YouTube chat now, but still watching, or if you're just watching this and you're in the doldrums here at the end of the season. I get it. But what the fuck? But doing the work is the main thing here. Fucking Christ. Can I just run a sim? Doing the work as best you can is the main thing in anything in gambling. And that's what I do here, I think, as well as anyone in the industry, hopefully. And you guys can tell me or not. Maybe that guy, the March 24th guy, will tell me not so much. Check out Stokastic too. Great deals. I know they have some big promos going right now for themselves. I think you actually might be able to stack the 15% off with their $100 off every sport package right now. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that's usually how it works for all the affiliate stuff. So click the link in the description. Go take their deal right now. You get $100 off every sport if you want. Get PGA for the Masters. I'm probably going to throw in like 10 lineups at that Millie Maker just because. For you guys out there, Stokastic, obviously great tools. And if you want to get mad at somebody over Quentin Grimes, it probably won't be Stokastic because they haven't touted him at all data-wise once this year. Plane crash in Pennsylvania on March 24th. Heroic situation. Yeah. Quentin Grimes went down, unfortunately. Real MASH style situation. All right. Let's see what we get here. They're doing 35% the first. So actually, I don't even know what it is today, the first. That weird 25K up top prize pool on DraftKings. DraftKings really saying, put all your money in the Masters, put all your money in PGA, because they do not want to show any love for NBA down the home stretch. Maybe because of March 24th. The real Black Monday. What day of the week was March 24th? March 24th, a Thursday. Oh, no, it's April. Never mind. March 24th, a Monday. I wonder what did I have a Quentin Grimes thumbnail on the Monday? Let's see. I mean, we're running a sim anyway. Got time to kill, I guess. All right. Loading up. Let's see. All right, let's share this tab. So here's all my thumbnails, my wide variety of faces. All right, March 24th. I got DeAndre Jordan the thumbnail. Is Quentin Grimes even on the slate? You can see 6 game in. Watch me for a sec. 700 in a day. It looks like Quentin Grimes is even on the fucking slate. This guy get the wrong day? He's fucking giving me enemy list treatment for the wrong fucking day too? That's bullshit. I just looked up March 24th, and there's no Quentin Grimes to be found. And I doubt I told you to play him when he wasn't available on a slate. So, God damn it. Be mad at me about things that are correct, not things that are stupid. That's always going to be my defense. Your top ROI lineups, according to Stokastic, they're loving Jared Butler again. Jared Butler in your number 1 ROI lineup. Baylor Shireman at number 2. Oh, my God. LeBron James, Justin Champagnie, Alex Sarr, Nick Smith Jr. Okay, so they are with me on Nick Smith. Bam Adebayo, Yusuf Nurkic. At number 2, we got Bub Carrington, Quentin Grimes. All right, so they got Grimes in this one. Baylor Shireman again. Justin Champagnie, Alex Sarr again, Lonnie Walker, Franz Wagner, and Nurkic. So Grimes and Walker make this one, which is kind of interesting. Number 3, I'm sick of Butler in the Sims. I'm telling you why it is. It's because they have Butler projected with his historical rates where he's been a great, like, good usage, assist rate guy everywhere, grabs some extra rebounds. It's just that it's like Quentin Grimes hogs the ball now on the seam in most games. So that's, I think, what the data difference is. But that's why it is the way it is every slate would be my guess. Number 3, Luka Dončić, Baylor Shireman again, Colby Jones, Justin Champagnie, Tristan Vukovic, Anthony Simons, Lonnie Walker again, Alex Sarr again. Some real obvious commonalities here. Quentin Grimes at number 4 again. Stokastic is getting me some Grimes. Bub Carrington, Lonnie Walker again, Andrew Wiggins, Alex Sarr yet again, Peyton Pritchard, Baylor Shireman again, Donovan Clingan. And number 5, Tyler Hero, Bub Carrington, Colby Jones, LeBron, Alex Sarr, Baylor Shireman, Sajan Salon, and Adem Bona. So this is going to be where my minutes were off, I guess, because it seems like both Unabated and Stokastic maybe docking Jaylen Brown and giving Shireman more minutes. This is fucking crazy. Thank you, Dick Chuck. You always tell me the wrong dudes to play. You're for sure the reason I always lose, not because of my finger clicks. Thank you. I appreciate. I accept you guys taking no accountability personally. Just put it all at my footsteps. I'm sure it's been one of your favorite chat days. I'm glad. I'm glad the quest of like people across various pockets of the gambling industry to try to drive me insane. It's working out so well, but I persevere. I do it for the puppies. We got Baylor. I do it for puppies like this puppy right here. My goodness, look at his little kitty. Here, say something. Okay. I think she said, "Go fuck yourself and puppy" to the March 24th guy. Baylor, if she's my dog, that's what I would hope for. Baylor Shireman, 13% ROI for Baylor Shireman. So one of your 2 positive ROI guys. Colby Jones here, getting some more minutes with Jordan Poole. I still don't like Colby Jones that much normally. We'll see what we get in this updated Stokastic data. Alex Sarr, flat 0% ROI for him. So he's your number 3 guy. Justin Champagnie, number 4. So 3 Wizards in the top 4 ROI plays, according to Stokastic's top 150 lineups. Jared Butler at number 5. Stokastic just loves Jared Butler, wants him to be the best version of himself. LeBron James at number 6. Tristan Vukovic at number 7. So 4 Wizards in the top 7 ROI plays right now, according to Stokastic data. Top exposed players, Alex Sarr, 57%, fields at 29. So Stokastic basically telling you to get 2x the field, and Alex Sarr, he's crushed. He's crushed in a lot of small groups. He should share the court with Vukovic a little bit tonight. Your hope is that he plays big minutes on the back-to-back. A little bit of risk. They don't play him as big as you'd like to see. I'm okay with Sarr. It feels like a lot of Sarr. Bub Carrington, 54% for Stokastic's top 150, 44% for the field. So Bub Carrington, again, Stokastic loving the Wizards, guys. Baylor Shireman, 48% fields at 12. So really big stand on Shireman. Maybe they like him more than Hauser. I think that's it. But that's a really big stand on Baylor Shireman, who I think has shown really nothing besides a cool tat sleeve. I have not seen him play in a way where I'm like, I can lock this guy up once all year, but that's the time of year we're in, I guess. His underlying numbers, though, I don't think are anything special. Whatever. We don't need to dig into it. Peyton Pritchard, 45%, fields at 53. So a little bit of a fade on Peyton Pritchard here. Lonnie Walker, 45%, fields at 46. So technically an anti-stand on Lonnie Walker, but you still want to Stokastic's top exposed players in their top 150 lineups. Colby Jones, 41%, fields at 15. So almost a 3x stand on Colby Jones. Justin Champagnie, 41% fields at 20. Champagnie, I would take over Colby Jones, even accounting for the price point. Champagnie contributes in every category. Colby Jones can maybe knock down some threes, but I've really not been impressed by Colby Jones. I also didn't play him the one good game he had this year, so I'm sure that maybe colors it a little bit. Highest leverage guys, 36% more Baylor Shireman in the field. Really big stand there. Alex Sarr, 28% more in the field. Colby Jones, 25% more in the field. Justin Champagnie, 20% more in the field. Tristan Vukovic, 16% more in the field. Big stand on Clingan here, relatively 2x the field, 13% more. And Jared Butler, 12% more in the field here because Stokastic will get paid off Jared Butler one of these days. That's how it's going to be. And thank you, Dick Chuck. I appreciate it. You're awesome, Spags. I respect all YouTube's guys try to do each day. I really do appreciate it. It's just, one bad apple sometimes does spoil the bunch. Not against me in the chat in general, because like I really do feel like I've built and helped with your guys' help, built one of the better communities out there. But like it also is something where you get the stragglers in sometimes who are mad about things from March 24th that you didn't even fucking do. There's evidence. There's video evidence. Sajan Salon, negative 23% leverage for him. 18% for Stokastic's top 150, fields at 41. Salon's not a great player, but he's going to get more opportunity if Diabate is out, especially. As it is right now, I presume Diabate is still in the player set. Yeah, he's still in the pool. It seems like they knocked his minutes down a little bit. if Diabate's out, Salon might play like 35 minutes today. So I think Salon's a better play than they're giving him credit for, but I could get being a little bit lower than the 40%. Sam Hauser, negative 16% leverage. Denny Avdia, Johnny Juzang, negative 15% leverage. Denny Avdia, negative 12%. Peyton Pritchard, negative 8%. Yusuf Nurkic are rounded up negative 8%. You're still getting 41% of Nurkic and still getting 45% of Peyton Pritchard. And Diabate, they're down now. Only 5% exposure, negative 7% leverage compared to the field. So interesting stands here. Look, guys, I will tell you, and again, I'll give you the warning in advance. The slates are going to be chaos for the next few days. If you're playing through the weekend, especially those last few games, it's going to be dudes getting ruled out left and right. Guys who didn't even know were on rosters playing. That's what NBA DFS is, though. So hopefully we can go in as prepared as we possibly can. And hopefully you got some value out of this video. I'll give you guys my splash plays in a moment. Before we do that, though, please do make sure to subscribe down below, hit the like button, leave a comment. Of course, it goes a long way for me here. Just one guy trying to keep myself afloat while running a couple of different channels. And as the year goes on, we're going to be doing some NBA playoff content. MLB coming to the channel as well once this regular season for NBA ends. I have to figure out the schedule for it, but hit the notification bell and you will know exactly when I go live. Preparing for both sports here as much as possible. Of course, check it on Unabated too, 20% off, great betting product. If you don't fucking trust any of my data and whatever, that's fine. Go trust Unabated's data. They've made people a lot of money, and that's a lot of professional bettors, casual bettors. If you follow their data, you'll get results. Follow the process, 5% or higher ROIs, 30 minutes before tip-off. You'll get the money tree you've been looking for all your life. If you actually are willing to stick with it and do it every day. Try it out for down the playoff stretch. Just get a month membership. I'd really recommend it. And it has been a great product for me, great product for you guys as well. Hopefully, if you try it out, Unabated, 20% off, link down below. Stokastic, 15% off down below as well. Check that out. Even if you're going to take their $100 off on all the sports deal, you go click my promo code or go click my link rather, go over there and use whatever they want. And that way you'll still save some money. I get some money off of what you're paying them. It's a real win-win for both of us. So check it out here. All right. Splash plays for the day. Oh, and join the Discord too, please. That does support the channel directly. $5 to join. Get in there. We'll talk basketball. We talk football, talk MLB, whatever you want. That's what I'm in there to do. All right. So top projected players today for top splash plays rather for me today. I mean, I think we know who it is. It's Quentin Grimes. Quentin Grimes has got to be one of them. Think again, we saw him put up 50 fantasy points last time. In my opinion, he should be around high 40s every game. 8,900, I don't think he kills you, even if he gets you to 40. But on this slate in particular, I would take a player I know is going to play well and give me about 40 to hopefully 50 fantasy points. It's Quentin Grimes, so I'll play him a good amount, but, follow your hearts. If you don't play him, though, consider more Jared Butler, consider more Lonnie Walker, consider more Dembona, because basically if Grimes doesn't get there, it just means the usage flowed away to other guys on the team. And if Grimes doesn't play, everybody on the Sixers is in play because he's been hogging the ball like a motherfucker the last month and a half. Besides him, I think if you get Diabate out, Nurkic, to me, I'll take shots on. I'm more team Sam Hauser than Baylor Shireman, but I got to run all the data again with Stokastic's minutes to see where I fully land on that. Alex Sarr, I do like as much as Stokastic does. Feels like a lot of ownership with Vucevic healthy, but he should be playing about 30 minutes and be good enough during that period. Who else? I think that's it. I think those are my main guys. The Grimes stand will be a big one today for me. I don't know. Try to get some Luka, try to get some LeBron. I think in that game, Luka, LeBron, AD, I feel like 10% of each of those guys. Spread it out a little bit. I think getting some exposure to that game feels right as well. But that's how I'll be playing it. Follow your hearts here. Of course, make sure to gamble responsibly, guys, even though it's always money time here. Follow me at Chris Spags. Follow this channel at Splash Play Bets. Of course, we got NBA streams 2 more days this week, and then we're into the playoffs. So let's enjoy it while we can, guys. Have some fun with it, even though the slates are shrinking in a way that makes me sad, but we'll make it count as best we can. Enjoy your days, guys. Good luck. See you soon. Bye-bye.